The most dangerous people in your life don't look dangerous. They look helpful. They look caring. They look like they're on your side, and by the time you realize they weren't, the damage is already done. You've been manipulated before. Maybe you know when, maybe you don't. But you've probably walked away from a conversation feeling confused, guilty, or strangely convinced that everything was somehow your fault. Today, I'm going to show you 5 patterns manipulators depend on. And once you see them, you'll never unsee them. But first, I want to show you something. Here's a conversation between 2 people. Watch carefully. See if you can spot what's really happening. Charlotte: I just feel like you don't make time for me anymore. Anna: That's not true. I literally canceled my plans last Saturday for you. Charlotte: See? The fact that you keep track of what you sacrifice for me says a lot. Anna: Wait. I wasn't keeping track. I was just... Charlotte: It's fine. I'm not going to force you to care about me. So, what just happened? Who was being unreasonable? And if you were Anna, would you feel guilty right now? If you did, that's exactly why manipulation works. Charlotte used 3 manipulation techniques in less than 30 seconds. She made a vague accusation. She turned Anna's defense into evidence against her. Then she made herself the victim. By the end of the conversation, Anna is apologizing for a crime she never committed. That's the power of psychological manipulation. Pattern 1. Intermittent reinforcement. Have you ever known someone who was warm and generous one day, then cold and distant the next? Instead of pulling away, you found yourself trying harder, trying to get back to the version of them that made you feel valued. That pattern has a name: intermittent reinforcement. Psychologist B.F. Skinner showed that unpredictable rewards create stronger attachment than consistent ones. It's the same mechanism that makes gambling addictive. You don't keep pulling the lever because it always pays off. You keep pulling it because the next one might. A manipulator doesn't need to be kind all the time. They only need to be kind often enough to keep you hoping. If you're constantly investing emotional energy trying to get back to the good version of someone, you're not building a healthy relationship. You're chasing uncertainty. Pattern 2. Darvo. Remember Charlotte? When Anna defended herself, Charlotte ignored the defense, attacked Anna's character, and made herself the victim. Psychologist Jennifer Freyd gave this pattern a name: Darvo. Deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. A conversation begins with you raising a legitimate concern and somehow ends with you apologizing. If that happens repeatedly, ask yourself 3 questions. Did they deny what happened? Did they attack you instead of your argument? Did they end up as the victim? If all 3 happened, you're probably looking at Darvo. Pattern 3. The foot in the door technique. Imagine agreeing to something today that 6 months ago you would have refused immediately. Manipulators rarely begin with huge requests. They begin with tiny ones. Can you help me this once? Becomes, can you do it again? Then, I already told everyone you'd handle it. Before you realize it, you're carrying responsibilities you never consciously agreed to. Psychologists Friedman and Fraser demonstrated this decades ago. One small yes creates pressure to keep saying yes. If you look back and realize you've gradually accepted things you never would have agreed to at the beginning, trace the steps backward. The first small yes is usually where it started. Pattern 4. Manufactured guilt. Here's something strange. Good people are often easier to manipulate than selfish people, not because they're weak, because they genuinely care about being fair. Manipulators know that. So instead of forcing you, they make you feel guilty. After everything I've done for you, I guess I'm just not that important. Don't worry, I'll do it myself. The question that breaks this pattern is simple. Did I actually do something wrong, or do I only feel like I did? If you can't identify a genuine wrongdoing, but the guilt feels overwhelming, someone may have placed that guilt there. It didn't come from your conscience. It came from the story someone wanted you to believe. Pattern 5. Gaslighting. Everyone knows the word. Very few people recognize it while it's happening. Gaslighting usually isn't one dramatic lie. It's something much quieter. I never said that. You're remembering it wrong. You're overreacting. One comment doesn't change much, but dozens of them, over weeks or years, begin to erode something far more important: your trust in yourself. Gaslighting doesn't work because you believe the manipulator. It works because you stop believing your own memory. If you constantly find yourself questioning what you remember, especially with one specific person, start writing important conversations down, not to build a case, to rebuild trust in your own perception. 5 patterns: intermittent reinforcement, DARVO, the foot in the door technique, manufactured guilt, and gaslighting. None of these patterns are powerful because they're mysterious. They're powerful because most people don't recognize them while they're happening. The moment you can name the pattern, you interrupt it. Before you leave, think of one relationship, past or present, where you've consistently felt confused, guilty, or like you were always the problem. Don't judge it. Don't confront anyone. Just ask yourself one question. Which of these 5 patterns shows up most often? Awareness is where change begins. Next time, we'll explore how to command respect without saying a word. Until then, train your mind, master yourself.